Hey everyone, welcome back. Ever wish you had like an AI assistant to help wrangle all those content creation tasks?
Yeah, like who hasn't, right?
Seriously. Well, get this. Today we're diving into Project Streamline GPT, which is basically trying to be that and more. We're talking blog posts, web pages even. Get this, podcast scripts.
Whoa, meta.
Right. And the really interesting thing is this isn't just about like automating the stuff we already do. It's trying to push the boundaries of how AI can be a partner in like the actual creative process.
Which is both exciting and, a little bit unnerving when you really think about it.
Totally. So full disclosure, our source material is straight from the developers on this one, Connexism. But the cool thing is it reads less like a sales pitch and more like a user manual,
Yeah.
which I appreciate. We're talking nuts and bolts here.
Exactly. No hype. So you want to know what IS Project Streamline GPT?
Lay it on us.
At its heart, it's AI-powered. No surprise there. But their big claim is that it's a toolkit to make content creation not just easier, but accessible to, well, basically everyone.
'Cause you're saying I don't need to be a coding whiz to use this thing.
That's what they're saying. And it's built on OpenAI's ChatGPT. So under the hood, it's got some serious language processing going on. But they're not just stopping at, like, basic writing. We're talking articles, web pages, even podcast episodes they're saying it can help with.
Hold on, podcast episodes, like what? It's going to start booking my guests for me too.
Maybe not that far, but think outlines, topic suggestions, that kind of thing. And get this, it can integrate real-time data from platforms like Twitter, Reddit, RSS feeds.
Wait, so you're saying, like, I could be writing a blog post about the latest in, I don't know, robot cat toys.
Always with the robot cat toys.
Hey, you got to be on top of the trends.
But
But you're saying it could pull in live tweets from, like, a big tech conference or something right into my post.
Exactly. Keeping things fresh, relevant.
Yep.
Because who wants to read yesterday's news?
Okay, that's cool. But, like, how does it actually work? Do I need a magic wand for this? Because mine's at the dry cleaner.
Sadly, no magic wand required. But the source material actually breaks it down pretty simply. It's all about, like, having a conversation with the AI.
Now you're speaking my language. I love a good chat.
You tell it what you need, article, web page, even just an outline for, say, a podcast episode on.
Robot cat toys.
Naturally. So you give it the topic, and then it gathers the info, including those real-time data points, and uses the algorithms to put it all together in a way that's actually useful.
So it's like doing the research, the organizing, the whole shebang.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
And the output formats are pretty practical, too, like Markdown for articles, HTML for web pages.
Hold up. HTML, that's like actual code, right?
It is, but you don't need to understand it. Think of it like you telling a chef you want something spicy and savory. They translate that into a dish. You give the vision, the AI handles the technical stuff. They even say if you give it a website you like the look of, it'll try to mimic the style.
Okay, now that's just showing off.
Right. So they're really pushing for that user-friendly aspect.
Which makes sense if they want people to actually use it. But we've only scratched the surface here. They talk about being able to generate all these different content types. So like, how different is it to ask for a blog post versus, I don't know, a whole web page? So they're saying this thing's like the Swiss Army knife of content creation, huh? But let's break it down. How does it actually handle different stuff, like blog post versus, I don't know, a web page? What's the difference?
They actually explain it pretty well, thankfully. So for articles, you give it the topic, obviously, but then it's like key points you want covered, who your audience is, even keywords. You're basically giving it the ingredients.
And it just whips up an article. Like, how detailed are we talking?
Detailed enough that they say it'll not only be readable, but could actually rank well in search engines.
Hold on, back up. Did you just say rank well? I get the readable part, but how's it going to SEOify my cat toy article?
That's the thing. It analyzes the keywords you gave it and structures the whole thing in a way Google supposedly likes. So it's like having an SEO expert built in instead of you having to become one.
Okay, now that IS handy. But web pages, that feels like a whole different beast. Like, I get anxious just changing my desktop background, let alone building a web page from scratch.
Well, that's exactly the kind of user they seem to be going after. They know not everyone's a coder, right? So for web pages, you tell it things like, what's the purpose? Is it about a product, a service, an event, whatever? Then your preferred style, tone, even those calls to action like shop now or whatever you want people to do.
Okay, so I'm giving it the vision board, basically.
Kind of. And then it suggests actual HTML and CSS code.
Hold up. Actual code. Like the stuff that makes the internet work. That is beyond my pay grade.
But that's the beauty, is you don't need to understand it. Like, you tell a chef you want spicy and savory, they handle the recipe part. You're the visionary, the AI's the web developer in this scenario. Plus, they say if you point it to a website you like the look of, it can even try to mimic that style.
Okay, now that's just showing off. But, of all this, the feature I'm most curious about is the podcasting thing. Imagine, feeding it a topic and getting a full episode outline, even guest suggestions, maybe. Is that too good to be true?
Well, they seem to think it's possible. You give it the topic, obviously, but then it's like, what kind of guest would be ideal, key points to hit, even the format and how long you want it to be. Interview, solo deep dive, like us, you name it.
So it's like a super-powered producer that doesn't need coffee breaks. Sign me up. But real talk for a sec, this all sounds incredibly efficient, almost too good. Are they overselling it? What about the downsides? This is every writer's dream, right? No more staring at a blank page, just pure content magic. But this isn't just for professional writers, is it?
Oh, definitely not. They even talk about how students could use this. Imagine help with research papers, presentations.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Or small businesses trying to up their social media game. Anyone who needs to get their ideas out there, basically. Even just someone who wants to play around with creative writing prompts. This could make it way more accessible.
It's like having a secret weapon for your brain. Speaking of which, the time-saving aspect is huge here. We're all so busy. Who couldn't use a few extra hours in the day? Do they say how much time this thing could actually save?
They do. They actually say users could potentially cut their content creation time in half.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up. In half. What used to take me 4 hours now takes 2.
That's what they're claiming.
Oh, wait, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
But seriously, with all this AI talk, it's easy to get, swept up in the hype. Are there any downsides we need to, keep in mind?
For sure. I mean, it's important to remember this is still a tool. We're the ones in the driver's seat, right?
Right.
So it's on us to use it responsibly. Check the output, make sure it's accurate.
Because it could be making stuff up. Right. We've talked about that with AI before.
Exactly. And it's got to align with your voice, your values. It's a collaboration, not a total takeover.
Like having a super efficient intern,
Yeah.
Still got to train them, check their work.
100%.
But they could take some things off your plate. So as we're wrapping up here, what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about?
I think this is a potential turning point. This is how we could be doing content creation in the future. And that's exciting, but also something to be, cautious about.
Totally. We can't just hand over the reins completely.
Right. It's about finding that balance where human creativity and this tech stuff can work together.
It's not about replacing us. It's about giving us the tools to do what we do best, just better. Who knows what other crazy AI stuff is coming down the pipeline, right? But that's a deep dive for another day. Thanks for joining us, everyone.